replay reminder. Welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here for our weekly team call. Like the last several weeks, we are going to have a full 30 minutes of awesome content, and then we'll stop the recording at that point and answer any questions. So jot down questions if you have them as we go. But the reason we're doing this is to just share some things that we've learned, and also just be a connecting point for us to collectively share ideas and ask questions, and just continue on this journey together of sharing doTERRA with our friends and family and communities.
I just listened to the podcast that I shared on our Wellness Leaders Facebook page. And during that podcast, one of the things that Havilah talks about is the importance of the community that you surround yourself with, and how that helps you to do the things in your life that you want to do. To believe for big things to happen and not just go through the motions. And so anyways, that is a big reason why we do this call. So the first thing that we're going to start off with is a product training. And I just feel like I want to continue to talk about the cleanse and ways that it helps to support our bodies. And I love taking science and making it a lot more practical. Also making it more easy for the normal person to understand. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, last week, I feel like we talked a little bit more about gut health and its importance, and why we do GX Assist and the PB Assist in the cleanse. And today I wanted to talk a little bit more about that, but also about the importance of detox. And why it's important to get some of those chemicals from our bodies. And so just so you guys know, when I teach a class, typically I will always, at the beginning of the class, paint a really clear picture of the problem that is happening. And the reason that I do that, the reason why I focus heavily on the problem, is because it helps to create more urgency for people around like why they need a solution, and why they need something like the cleanse, or why they need something like a certain oil. And it helps to build value ultimately for what I'm teaching. And so I do that like every single class. And so by me sharing this tonight, I hope it helps you to do the same as well. So the thing that I wanted to specifically share, this is what I do on a normal basis. I'm going to show you how easy this is. I literally just Googled toxins and hormones. And how do toxins affect hormones is what I typed in. And the first thing that popped up was a Live Science blog article. And they basically took some information from the Environmental Working Group. And I'm just going to review some of this stuff. So BPA is one of the top chemicals that they are finding are affecting humans and our hormones. This chemical is found in a lot of products, including canned foods, plastics, dental sealants, and it's very similar to the hormone estrogen. So basically it disrupts our hormones because it acts like estrogen in our body. So exposure with BPA can lead to things like obesity, early puberty, and miscarriage. And miscarriage, just like that one thing alone, or miscarriage or infertility in general, has went up like 40% in the last, I was just telling Emily this and now I forgot. I'm so bad at remembering stats, but it's been like the last 40 years or something like that. It's went up a crazy amount. Dioxin is the second one. This chemical is found in animal fatty tissue, and it's linked to, so basically if you eat meat, there's a high chance you're being exposed to dioxin, and it's linked to lower sperm count and other reproductive system effects. Crazy. Then there's astrazin. This one is it's a pesticide that's often found in drinking water. So if you drink tap water, you're drinking it. Likely, and it's linked to tumors, delayed puberty, prostate inflammation, and it's known to turn male frogs into females. Wow, sounds really good for us. And then phthalates. Okay, this one I for sure wanted to talk about. So phthalates are often under the umbrella term of fragrance. So this is a great one to teach about at your classes. Basically, if anybody in your classes has products that have fragrance in them, whether that's shampoo and conditioner or whatever they put in the dryer sheets, or cleaners, there's so many things that fragrance is in, and fragrance often, one of the things under that umbrella term again is phthalates. And phthalates, they're also used to make plastics more flexible, and then they're used in a lot of products as a dissolving agent. And they can also be found in detergent, plastic clothes like raincoats, blah, blah, all these things. And they've been found to affect the reproductive system, but the effect on human from exposure to low levels of phthalates is unknown, is what the CDC says. But anyways, basically, they definitely affect your hormones, and to limit exposure, you have to avoid plastic food containers, plastic wrap, and then also anything with fragrances in them. Anyways, I could just keep going on and on. The next one, is often in milk products and food. And yeah, it just, then flame retardants, lead, all these things. So you get the point. There are a ton of chemicals. And even if you're doing a good job and trying to change over all your personal products and all that kind of stuff, there's always things. Like I'm even thinking like, well, we've been using plastic wrap every once in a while. Why haven't we been doing that? Or Ziploc bags. And so there's lots of things that we're exposed to, and most people are probably exposed to way more than you are. And it's so valuable to be able to teach them why they should cut them out and how it affects the body. So the next thing I wanted to say is the next thing that I looked up was the 5 nutrients, or like the top nutrients that support your liver. And it talks about how nutrition deficiencies of vitamin A, iron, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin B12 are what they basically, when you're deficient in them, your liver cannot function as well, meaning you can't detox as well. So you can't get rid of all this stuff that we're being exposed to. And then you look up doTERRA's Microplex and the Alpha CRS from the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and you find out that, ta-da, there is all these things. There's the iron, there's the vitamin D, there's the vitamin E and B12, and then you go to alpha, that was in Microplex, by the way. And then in the Alpha CRS, there's things like milk thistle seed extract, which when you look up that, it's very beneficial for the liver. And then there's all these other extracts along with CoQ10 and all these things that are amazing for the liver. Awesome, right? And this is just the Lifelong Vitality Pack, guys. So when we tell the people to take the Lifelong Vitality Pack, that is even such a great step in detoxing. So when we think about our cleanse that we do as a team, I just wanted to remind everybody that there are 3 levels. And to show you this, I just want to quick share my screen. I know I'm going a little long on this, but it's so good. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see some of the things that are available. So can you guys all see this? Thumbs up? Yeah, cool. So when you're on the LDC Facebook page and you go to this units tab right over here, I created a new unit right here that is about our cleanse. And so a couple things that it has in it are, number one, I was on the Empowered Life series talking about doTERRA's cleanse. So this is a great webinar that you can send to team members for them to learn more about the cleanse. And then here in this post, it talks about the different levels of the cleanse. So you can see right here, level 1 is just taking Lifelong Vitality Pack, taking Terrazyme and PB Assist, and using citrus oils. And then here are a bunch of testimonies that you can tag your team in. It's the word on the street post, so you can see all of these different awesome testimonies from people. And then under here are the live videos that different leaders have been doing each day This is about hormones from Londa, then preventative health and genetic disease from Emily, then immune system from Gretchen, and tomorrow Melissa is going to do one on mood that I'll add, emotional support, and why the cleanse is so beneficial. So anyways, all of these things are great, but they're way better and more effective when we connect our team to them. And ultimately, only we can do that. We have to know what our people's concerns are in their health and be able to connect the dots for them. And so I just encourage you to spend, even if it's like an hour or 2 hours, and look through your people that you've enrolled on your back office and do like just a little memory jogging. Think about the health issues that they have going on. And then even if it's like you call them and you help connect the dots for them, ask them how it's been going with that certain thing. Tell them you're thinking of them because the cleanse is coming up and you think it'd be really great for them. And you can help teach them, even if it's like a simple thing over a phone call. So anyways, I hope that's helpful. And next, I'll talk a little bit more about the cleanse and ways you can help your team at the end. But right now, we're going to do some continuing business skill training to talk about something very similar to what I was just saying, which is continuing education with your team.
Yes. So Kristen's going to get into some practicals, but one of the weekly success activities from Elise Chedevy's schedule is having a weekly continuing education class, ideally in person. So just a little bit of framing for this topic, and then Kristen's going to dive into some practicals. But first, when you think about it, 85% of our income from our doTERRA business is from product users, which is awesome. Most network marketing businesses, like, your income comes from recruiting other people to do the business. Our business is more stable because its foundation is on product users. So that's a tangent, but 85% of our income comes from product users. If we don't continually support our product users, we're throwing away the biggest part of our business. And the intention for continuing education is that by the end of their a customer's continuing education experience, if they are like in love with 4, 5, 6, 7 products, so like not that many, like a handful of products that they love, that they know how to use, and they use frequently and order frequently, they're going to order them for the rest of their lives. That is, like, just think about you. Like, I know for us, it's like we are going to buy On Guard toothpaste for the next 70 years at least. Mm-hmm. And we have probably 20 of those products that we just love and we're going to buy forever. The goal here is to help our customers fall in love with the products that they need and will use regularly. So the Elise Chedevy gave a sample of what an 8-week rotation could look like for continuing education. We tweaked it a little bit. Do you want to post this in the comments?
Sure.
So I'll read these, but Kristen's going to post them in the comments. We tweaked it a little bit. So if you look at that Elise Chedevy handout that I uploaded into the Wellness Leaders group, it's going to look a little bit different, and you can feel free to change this however you want. But the first one is we did it as a back to school class because that was just the season. But just like an immune system, like the topic is supporting the immune system. The second week is the power of proper health and LLV. Like, LLV is huge, guys. We didn't teach about LLV or take LLV for like the first year or more that we were doing this business. Big mistake. The third week is, sorry, I lost my notes. Third week is healthy weight lifestyle. Kristen tweaked it to be women's health. She just did that one this last.
Emily did.
Emily did that one this last Saturday.
Yeah.
And then emotional wellness and hormone balance and mood management. That is a big topic.
Yeah.
And then Elise had body balance with the Aroma Touch technique. We're changing that to be Symphony of the Cells because we use that a little bit more, even though Aroma Touch is awesome. Symphony of the Cells is a little bit more approachable. The 6th week is skincare. 7th week, essential science. We are doing natural / green cleaning, like how to switch over all your cleaning products to be natural and eco-friendly. And then week number 8 is pain management. Again, you can take these as they are, or you can tweak them. And then Kristen's going to give some practicals on how to conduct these continuing education classes.
So before I go on, I'll first teach on a little bit of the flow for my classes, but then I want to share some other practicals of how I help empower customers that are already on my team and give you guys some ideas. If you haven't already,
so you're saying it's not just a class that you're doing.
Yeah, it's not just a class. But then the other thing that I was going to say, if you haven't already watched the Tribe Time from July that Melissa Christopher did, it is great. It was so good. She talks about retention in there, and she is a pro at it. So anyways, as far as my class, if you watched some of my live videos, you maybe have this information already, but for every single continuing education class, my flow is to introduce myself, to talk about the problem, then I cover the content or like the products from doTERRA that will help them and why, and then I teach them on LRP again, and then at the very end talk about if they want to host a class for me. I talk about hostess gifts and encourage them to bring somebody to my intro class Thursdays. So those are the things that I always include in every single continuing education class. And when I invite to these classes, one of the big things that I always think about is, how do I invite them in a way that will connect the dots again to a pain point they have going on in their life? So every week when I sit down to invite, like this next week, we're doing an emotions class here in Waco. I'm going to invite anybody that has hormone imbalance, because mood stuff is going to really affect hormone balance. I'm going to invite anybody that's ever talked to me about anxiety or depression. And I'm going to communicate with those like words in a way that helps them see that there's solutions that they can come learn about. And one thing that's really important when you're inviting, we could talk about so many things with inviting, but the most important thing to remember is, number one, connect to a pain point. Like, think about it from their lens. What would make them want to come to your class? And tell them that I thought of you because. And then number two, always ask a question at the end that is yes or no. Don't say, let me know if you can come, or hope you can make it, or anything like that. I literally say, can you come? And I end my text message with that. And it's funny because like 4 weeks ago, I had caught myself not asking that question and I wasn't getting responses. And then I was like, duh, Kristen, ask a yes or no question. And when I say, can you come? It's like, it just like evokes a response out of people. Like, they feel more responsible to answer you. So anyways, that is a really important thing when you're inviting. So the other practicals that I wanted to share is, so I hadn't realized this, but I recently did a Strength Finders call with a strength coach. It was before Ever was born, so I guess it's been like 3 months or something, flew by. Anyways, one of the things that he taught me is that my strengths basically make me very natural at doing this, which means I don't teach on it very often because I think everybody does this, which is not true. But he talked about how all my strengths lead me to be a consultative seller. Like, that is basically who I am. And if you know me very well, you know that I do this. Like, I ask you questions and I get to know you and I hear all about your life.
Whether you're buying a pair of shoes or essential oils.
Mm-hmm. And then you start telling me about your problems, and I love helping to listen to your problems. And then likely I will be like, you need this in your life. And I will tell you, like if you're Emily Wolf, I'll tell you about Wellness Mama's post on bone broth and how it's an ideal, perfect food for baby. And I just sold you on doing bone broth with your baby in their bottle. Like, but anyways, this is my point. Like this comes very natural to me, but I want to basically break it down for you guys and share some real life examples of what this looks like. So we have a restaurant in Waco we love to go to. You likely have a restaurant or a coffee shop or something that your family frequents too, and you might get to know maybe waiters or waitresses there. If you don't, you should be. Because when you're good friends with them and when you like acknowledge them and love on them, it is great. Anyway, so there's this same checkout guy all the time at this restaurant where we frequent. His name is Cassidy, and they had Altoid mints sitting there. And so because I'm always looking for ways to start conversations with people when I'm out and about, I was like, oh, are these your mints? Are those your mints? And he said, yeah, me and Toby, who is the owner, we love having mints. And so him and I share them. And I was like, oh, and I know Altoid mints are not good for you. They have lots of sugar. They have dyes in them, all these things. And Tyler is obsessed with peppermint beadlets. So I like right there in my mind, I like decided, I said to Cassie, I'm like, oh, I need to bring you peppermint beadlets. They're awesome. It's like a half a drop of peppermint and they are amazing for breath. And so you guys totally have to try them. And so then I brought them some peppermint beadlets to try. And they're already, this business is enrolled on my team. But this was an example of how it was a customer, but this business isn't likely going to come to one of my continuing education classes. But I knew that I had to keep teaching them about other products besides the On Guard cleaner concentrate that they're cleaning the tables with. And so that's one example. Second example is for Labor Day, we were just over at some friend's house. Or a friend's house, and we're hanging out with them, and they were talking about like we often do. They both have babies, so we're talking about all things babies, and stuff just comes up because they're my friends, and both of these friends have not been to my classes recently, and it just started coming up, all these problems they're having, and I'm suggesting oils because their little baby's snotty and they think she might be teething, and so I'm telling about all the things, and then one of them literally starts editing her LRP cart as I'm there. And then I'm like, oh, did you know about the promotion this month? And I started telling them about the Level Up promo where if they place a 150 PV order, they jump up. So anyways, this is just an example of how doTERRA is really cool because it's network marketing and because relationships are the name of the game. But it just becomes this process of being intentional and really like picking up on the problems that people are telling you. First, you have to ask, of course. You have to care. You have to ask. You have to listen to people and make that a habit. But then as you do, like, don't hesitate to share the solution with them. And a lot of times that can even be a class that you have. You can say, hey, I know you've been talking about your baby being sick. I'm having a class on back to school, on immune health. I'd love for you to come and learn more. So you know all my tricks. And when your baby gets sick next time, you know. So anyways, hopefully that, I don't know if that's self-explanatory for all of you, but I hope that gives you maybe some practicals of like what that looks like for me in day to day. And I encourage you as you go through your week this week, just like, even if it's once a day, like set your intention on talking with somebody and caring and asking them questions. That won't always lead to you talking about doTERRA, but sometimes it will. And as you make that a habit, it like just becomes easy and it becomes a part of your life. It doesn't always have to be this set aside 5 hours that you're doing your business. It's just as you go about your day, you can help people with what we have. And oftentimes that becomes your classes because classes are a really fun way to help people. So next we're going to transition into recognition. And Tyler's going to share a few and then I'm going to go.
Yeah. So I'm excited to share this one, and I'm actually going to read it as it was sent to me. We want to celebrate and recognize Kirsten Kucha.
Oh, I think it's Kucha.
Sorry, Kirsten. And this is what Stacy says.
She's in Sioux Falls.
She continues to push and make time even when it seems impossible. As a very active single mom with a full-time job, it's not easy to make time for classes and follow-up, but she continues to share samples. She has a huge heart for sharing her oils and scheduled classes. We have also shared numerous no-show classes, but she doesn't give up. Kirsten's friend and her daughter finally showed up to a class after months of continuing to share and invite. It's easy to quit inviting, but that's not what works. The friend and daughter are now considering the Natural Solutions Kit. So, like, way to go, Kirsten, for showing up continually, even when it's not easy. That's how we build momentum, that consistency, and you're doing it. Great job.
And then speaking of people that don't give up on inviting people, we've been doing these classes here locally in Waco, and because nobody else is submitting any recognition, I'm just going to keep talking about Emily Wolf because she's doing a lot of awesome things. And one of the simple things that I just wanted to share that has even been helpful for me, she said to me, I don't even know where you read this, Emily, but somebody had said to her, or she read it somewhere, to spend just 30 minutes a day in her business. And she has a little baby girl. And she's like, but 30 minutes, I can do that. So she every day is just sitting down for 30 minutes and contacting either people on her team or inviting people to new classes or doing something actively for her business. And I love that. It's like such a simple thing that quickly builds a really great momentum. And one thing I wanted to share about this is there's been multiple times at our classes here in Waco that we've had people and they've been like, they literally say out loud at the class, you've been inviting me for so long. I'm sorry I haven't been able to come, but I'm so glad that I got to come now, blah, 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 because Emily has continuously invited these people. And one of these people came to our class last Thursday night and enrolled with a Natural Solutions Kit and right away asked about the business. So I tell you that because oftentimes those people we might have given up on or we forgot about because we're not spending those 30 minutes every day doing that active pipeline work. Like, it's like they're literally like one step away, guys. They're one step away from making that step to come to your class and get a Natural Solutions Kit and do the business. Like, that's amazing. So a couple things that I wanted to go through before we end the class. You guys have already heard about the promotions for the month. If you're not doing this already, you should be. If you have rosemary, you need to put it by something that you see every morning when you wake up, and you need to put a couple drops in your hand and like massage it all over in your hair, your scalp, because it's amazing. It like helps you wake up. It smells so good. You smell like an herby garden. So good. And if you're in any sort of life transition, emotionally, it's also very supportive. So, you know, we have a newborn. It's been really great for me. I don't know why. I love it anytime I have a baby. I was the same way after Elliot was born, but I think it's because of the life transition. So rosemary is awesome. It's also really good for hair growth. So we'll see what happens with my post-baby hormone. I haven't had any problems yet, but we'll see. Hopefully rosemary helps with that. Tyler also is noticing he may have a bald spot starting here. And so he's been stealing my rosemary.
I haven't noticed anything.
Anyways, and then time, what I wanted to share about time, it's crazy. So stuffy noses, if any of you guys deal with that, sometimes, you know, when you get the stuffy nose where it's not draining and it's just like stuck back there and it won't come out, that is our favorite time to pull out like some sort of like a steam cup with hot water, or with a baby like Ever, he's been stuffy. And so we used a bowl last night, dumped some hot water in it as I was nursing him. And I was just by this bowl of hot water. And we added a blend that I use often when when babies are super congested, and I put it in this boiling water. So the blend is lemon, melaleuca, lavender, thyme, and eucalyptus. And I have those 5 oils in like an empty bottle, and I just added them all to get together as a pre-mixed up blend. So again, it's lavender, lemon, melaleuca, eucalyptus, and thyme. And thyme is a very gentle alternative to oregano, but it's very effective at helping to kill all those germs and viruses and everything like that. It's also really good for the respiratory system. So that is a great way to use thyme. You can also cook with it, obviously, but just wanted to share those few things. And then I wanted to show you guys just a few more resources on Facebook that are newer. And then we're gonna end for the night. So here, sorry, can you all see my screen? Can you see it, Gretchen? Yeah, okay, cool. So the first thing that I wanted to show you guys is you've probably heard potentially about our oil camp. So I just wanted to give you a sneak peek. This is a template I have put together. Hopefully I can find it. Oh, here we go. So guys, this is so cool. Thank you to everybody that has contributed with videos, but I just wanted to quick show you. So this is the layout of Oil Camp 2. It's built in a way where basically it focuses on the different levels of the wellness pyramid. So there is a welcome at the beginning, an orientation, is everybody here? And then starting to talk about nutrition with the daily challenge. And then day 2 talks about lifelong vitality, PB assist, and then Terrazyme. So it's talking about those basic supplements. Then day 3 talks about some of the other additional supplements like TerraGreens, meal planning and the importance of it. Then we go into exercise, the importance of exercise and the products you can use for exercise. So it's literally like the wellness pyramid built into an oil camp, and it's only 10 days long. So then it talks about stress. Tyler talks about oils for stress management. I'm really excited about having a guy in oil camp because I think it will be really helpful. Even if we still primarily have women doing oil camp, this gives them ideas for their husbands. And then we start to talk about or from managing stress, it goes into some stuff for sleep. And then there's like this thing about a joy list, and then reducing toxic load, and then informed self-care is what it ends on. So you guys can see, it's just awesome. This is my chiropractor and a functional PA here in town. So anyways, there's just lots of really good stuff, and there's going to be people will get fun free stuff when they go do Oil Camp 2. So I think right now what is happening is I'm going to be heading up an Oil Camp 2, and then Melissa's going to be heading up one for her team as well. So if you have people that you want to connect to Oil Camp from your team that you know want to attend, make sure you reach out to one of your upline Silver Plus. They'll help you get connected to the right one and the dates when it starts. But we're for sure running that this month. And then the cleanse will start on September 30th. And then there was one other thing that I wanted to show you all. I wanted to make sure for the Level Up promo that you guys know, I did strategically this Enter to Win post. A lot of you have probably seen it, but basically I just wanted people to know where they can go to look at their percentage back. So it has the steps here for how they can look it up, and they can see the point accrual they're at. And then the fun thing is you guys should all be watching these comments, because there are comments like right here. I don't know who Sydney Strait is. I don't know who enrolled her, but whoever did should be commenting here and saying, hey, Sydney, you can jump to 20% back this month by placing an order of 150 PV, and making sure like you educate people as they post here. I'm like, this one, oh, she's at 30% back. That's awesome.
There's actually a lot of people at 30%,
yeah,
which is awesome.
So cool. So anyways, hopefully that's a helpful overview of just some things that are available online to help educate your teams. And I'm so excited, last announcement, to see whoever's coming to convention. And I just got your guys' little gift in the mail, and it turned out so cool. And I'm not going to tell you what it is yet.
She's horrible.
Yeah.
She does this to me all the time. She's like, I got you a surprise. I'm like, great, what is it? Oh, I can't give it to you yet. It's the worst.
Okay, so we're going to stop the recording and go through questions.